Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. How to code, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles, compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles, go take care of your business. Success Chronicles, it's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles. Really excited to have Miss Jennifer Moroz on, a great lady doing some great things to give back and pour into others. And so first, I just want to say thanks so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles.
Thanks, Chip. I feel so honored, and I'm so excited to talk to you.
Awesome. Been looking forward to it. Well, let's dive into it. There's off air, we talked about, your journey and some of the things that you've been blessed and fortunate to achieve in your life. But if you don't mind sharing some of that with the audience so they have an idea of who you are and what it is you do.
Absolutely. I think the most important thing for me is the help I can offer other educators. So I'm a 25-year educator. Long time. That's a long time educator. For
Good stuff.
About 6 years of that period of time, I was lucky enough to work as an assessment support or lead here in our school district in Prince George, BC. And during that 6 years, I had the opportunity to work one-on-one and with small groups of educators with assessment templates and assessment tools that help to expedite what we are asked to do in the classroom, which is a very big task. And we want to do right by all children, by everyone, and therefore we need the right tools. And I feel very responsible that, and I feel that I have a mission to help teachers feel confident with their assessment practice, because I believe instead of being the last thing you think about, it is the number one thing you think about, and it has such tremendous potential for developing relationships and having good relationships in the classroom, although it's not always seen that way. It's seen sort of as, paperwork or bookkeeping, but it has tremendous capacity for helping educators develop really strong relationships with the people in front of them. So during that 6 years, I also had the opportunity to travel around to different districts in BC and meet a lot of educators and work with teams even. And now I'm really excited to be working with Vancouver Island University, with the pre-service teachers to give them some tools and just that black and white sort of support, the concrete support walking into classrooms in terms of assessment literacy. So that's my whole thing. That's my driving force.
I love it. So good. Well, what are three things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
Okay. I had to think about that, and that I'm so pleased to be asked that. That's so kind. I think I sort of touched on one of those, and that is the invitations that I get to school districts around our province, BC. When educators reach out to me or administrators reach out to me and ask me to help, that for me is an honor. It's work per se, but it's an honor because I get to use something that I feel is useful, and I get to give that to someone else and make their life better. So that's a very proud accomplishment of mine. And that didn't happen overnight. It was sort of on the back of a lot of work and a lot of slogging day to day. work in the classroom where I had to develop tools that I felt enabled me to teach effectively and assess effectively. So that's one of them. The second one, it's developing a YouTube channel took a bit of courage.
Yes.
It does, because anytime you put yourself out there, so to speak, it requires some courage, and you have to be ready for whatever feedback you get. But my YouTube channel includes a film, and I have part of my background is Métis, which is essentially a mix, the French word for mix of Indigenous and French or Scottish. And that's what the Canadian fur trade essentially was sort of carried on, the strength and the capacity of the Métis people. As the Indigenous who are already here in Canada before it was Canada for thousands of years, and the French and Scottish settlers that came over to essentially trap furs and create that new economy. So what we did was we filmed their story, the ethnogenesis, and collaborated with Métis elders and here in Prince George, had them tell their story in the form of a film. And that is on my YouTube channel. It's a great learning tool. That's what it was developed for. So instead of having students learn about it by reading and writing and all those things we normally have them do, we had them act out scenes historically from the story of Canada and essentially the story of the Métis people. So I'm very, very proud of that. That was a huge accomplishment. It's about a year in the making. And finally, I think I work a little bit with Eric Francis. He's the author of Depth of Knowledge. I actually have that book right here. I wanted to just give that a quick shout out. Eric Francis developed a wonderful framework and model for unpacking learning standards. It's that nitty-gritty work that we need when we're looking at a learning standard and developing learning intentions and success criteria. How do we stack those intentions to the ceiling of the standard? How do we create criteria and learning intentions that are very specific and explicit, easy to evaluate? So that's Eric Francis' work. And based on his, I developed some what I call learning ladders or learning progressions. They're on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Teachers test drive those and talk about how they use them in the classroom. So that's number 3.
That's awesome. And like with your learning ladders and I saw some of that on your social media as well too, some of those charts and things that you have. And it's templates. It's great when we can have some things to follow to help us be better in what we do. So kudos to you, and thanks for taking the time to do that. Like, it's one thing when people can learn amazing things and have a passion for using it, but then when you can take that and share that with others and teach others and provide tools, that's a whole other level of influence and impact, I believe.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I really do. I think, ironically, that sort of leads into what you were asking and talking about success. And I'm so glad that I have a chance to do this, because it actually made me think about what success is. What does success look like? Because if you're measuring it the wrong way, it's easy to not feel successful. I suppose that's the simplest way to say it. What you just touched on, Chip, is it's the capacity to reach others for me. If I know I've helped somebody and they reach out and say, I've used these templates and they've really helped me in the classroom feel confident in areas that are very difficult and very challenging, or you've given me inspiration to try something new, that's my measure of success. And it's free, and it's given freely. All I want, and I think it's coming up with your intention. What is it that you want? And I was asked that many times through my career. I can't see myself writing a book. I don't think I'm an author. And I'm not particularly, a great speaker at all. But I work hard, and I know how to help other people shine. So like,
Yes.
I think it's knowing your limitations, but
Yes.
also knowing what maybe your gift is, your relative gift. And I want to have a very wide audience so that I can give them things that they can use, that make their day-to-day job simpler. And every time I offer tools, it's always with the intention that they're going to use them to their benefit and to the benefit of the students in front of them. So that's my wish, my great sort of goal in life.
That's awesome. That's so good. I love how you tie that into success. I think that it is a process. And I also think I agree with you. It is personal too. Once we figure out, the things that we are gifted and blessed in, and, we get in our lane, and I call that being in alignment with our assignment.
Yes, that is a
Yeah.
really good way to say it. Yes, I
Yeah.
agree. Because I don't think that it has to look the same for everybody.
Correct.
It can't.
Yeah.
But if it's crowds and things like that, then I'm not successful. But if it's in my capacity to help somebody else feel confidence in areas that I've felt lack of confidence. So it also sometimes, I think, comes from your own difficulties in your life that you work so hard to overcome, if that makes sense, that sometimes those difficulties actually propel you toward what you might call success. If I can help someone feel good and confident in ways that I don't always, then that's successful for me, or success.
Love it. Love it. Well, as we close, I'd love for you to have an opportunity to share with the audience where they can go follow you and check you out and show you some love with all of the amazing things you have going on.
That'd be great. I'd be so pleased. The wonderful thing about any time we're talking about unpacking standards or developing learning intentions and assessment, this is a language that is understood by all educators. So Eric Francis is out of the States. So it's not just a Canadian assessment website that I've put together. I invite educators to come on and talk about how they've used the assessment templates or tools to unpack a standard, to assess whatever they're teaching. And then I share a free link to that assessment template in the video description. So this is K-9, but I've got secondary educators who are interested in working with depth of knowledge and learning ladders. And I'm really excited to kind of venture into that as well. So check out my YouTube channel for free links to tools that you can modify at will, and just use to your benefit. It just take a little bit off your plate, help you sort of structure your magic in the classroom, and help you feel confident when it comes to reporting, conferencing, and interviews. That's my hope, is that it reaches you in some way, and it helps you in some way. So check it out, and leave a comment if something has served you, and keep watching, because I've got new episodes now coming on almost every week. So happy to share.
Well, there it is again. I just want to say thanks so much for taking the time to hang out and interview with the Success Chronicles, and I wish you continued success.
Thank you so much, Chip. Thank you for your time. I feel really blessed, and just thank you for your energy. You've got beautiful energy
Thank you.
and kindness, and that to me is inspiring. So thank you so much.
Well, let's go. All right. Well, thank you. And thank you guys for checking out this Success Chronicles interview. We'll see you next time. God bless.
Sure. Thank you.
Go get it.